So I got this really cool request on Tumblr the other day to do a video about Sailor Moon merchandise and give you kind of like a top 5 items that I recommend getting. I was having a really hard time narrowing it down to specific items that I have that I recommend, so instead I'm going to try to morph the request a little bit and do more of a video for like beginners in buying Sailor Moon merchandise and sort of the 5 sort of categories, areas of merchandise that I would recommend buying rather than like specific items. Also, it's important to remember that I don't really consider myself like a Sailor Moon collector. I'm very selective with the things that I buy. I don't have everything, and I would never intend to have everything because that's expensive. But I think I actually really have a sort of good ideology when it comes to how I buy my Sailor Moon merchandise, and that is my Sailor Moon merchandise. For me to buy it, it has to fit into 3 categories. And so the first category is usability. I may or may not have just made up that word, but usability. Is it useful? Can I use it in my everyday life in any sort of way, or is it just something that sits there and looks pretty? You know, I would prefer items that are useful, that I can wear, that I can use, and that sort of thing. So that's number 1. Number 2 would be price/value. So is it really super expensive? Is it something super expensive that I'm never going to be able to use? That sort of thing. I don't want to spend a lot of money on one item really ever, but especially if it's just not really usable. I say as there's a Pulip doll behind me. What can I say? And especially if it's a high-priced item that I feel like maybe the quality isn't the best of. You know what I mean? So kind of value and price there. And the third criteria that it has to fit is an emotional thing. A lot of Sailor Moon merchandise, especially if it's like merchandise from the show, can really pull like the nostalgia strings, and unless it does that, unless it has that really big emotional pull for me, I'm probably not gonna buy it, especially if it's expensive and especially if I can't use it. So all 3 of those criteria together is how I've come up with this list. So this list is not really ordered in a way, it's just like 5 things, not really top 5. So the first thing I want to mention that I would recommend investing in is the various lines of Sailor Moon stationery. A lot of us, I know, we have like kind of a thing with stationery. I don't know, pretty paper and pens and that sort of thing. It's just so much fun, and I love the Sailor Moon stationery, especially of all the lines. It's all very cute and very, you know, usable, and it's also not super expensive. It's a little bit more expensive than, you know, I went to Office Depot and bought this package of pens, but I think you're definitely paying for, you know, the functionality and the quality, because a lot of it is very high quality. So, for example, here, some of the merchandise that I own is I have like a notebook that sort of has like symbols and patterns and stuff inside, but it's still very usable. I have a little booklet of Post-it notes. I have 2 different variations of Sailor Mars's transformation pen, and they actually function as pens, so I definitely like that. One of them is a pointer, and the other one is just a pen, but they both have the pen aspect to them. And my agenda, I think in 2013, was Sailor Moon themed. It was my favorite agenda I've ever had because it was so pretty, and so I just loved it. If you're looking to buy Sailor Moon stationery and that sort of thing, I would definitely recommend checking out websites like JList or Amy, stuff like that, because those are usually keep the price kind of down, and you can be sure like they're sending it right to your house and that sort of thing. It's, you know, there's no like middleman. But if you are okay with having a middleman, I definitely would recommend buying them from Premium Bandai, the Japanese website, using a deputy service. So basically what happens is this deputy service will buy the product and then send it to you in a different country. So the deputy service that I always use is called From Japan. And so yeah, that's what they do, is they buy the product from Premium Bandai from within Japan, and then they send it to you. From Japan is never very expensive, and I always find that the packaging, like of the package, when they send it to me, it's always really good. Like, it's a box wrapped in bubble wrap, wrapped in another box, wrapped in bubble wrap. It's really intense. If you've seen my Pulip doll video or my Pluto figure art video, videos like that, all of that is ordered from Premium Bandai through From Japan. The second sort of group of items that I would recommend buying is actually more specifically if you are a North American-based Sailor Moon fan, and that would be GE Animation products and products that you can get at Hot Topic. The reason I recommend getting these products is because, first of all, you're supporting then the Sailor Moon franchise in North America, and, you know, it's a supply and demand type thing. If you create the demand, they're more likely to keep Sailor Moon and Sailor Moon merchandise here, whereas if you're buying bootleg stuff, and you're buying stuff straight from Japan all the time, you know what I mean? They might not think they have a big Sailor Moon fan base in Canada and in America, and they're not going to send it to us, right? So definitely support the North American Sailor Moon franchise. And also some of the Hot Topic stuff is like really cute. like really cute. I have a hard time shopping from Hot Topic sometimes because sometimes Hot Topic items can be like really expensive. It's a good thing I never really had an emo phase because I don't know how I would have afforded that. But for example, I have this shirt from Hot Topic that my sister bought me for Christmas actually, and it's got the Sailor Moon pattern and a bunch of like transformation brooches and that sort of thing all over it, and it's like the cutest shirt ever. I've never seen anything quite like it, even from the Japanese websites, and I just love it. So especially lately, the Hot Topic apparel is really stepping it up. So definitely check out official products from Hot Topic and from GE Animation because it is worth it. The third thing that I'm going to mention, you are probably not surprised to see on this list. It is similar to the last thing I mentioned, but that is officially released DVDs and Blu-rays and that sort of thing. Do not only download it illegally and do not only buy the bootleg version. I am a person who has all of Sailor Moon downloaded illegally. I have the box set of the bootleg, and I'm still buying the DVDs as Viz Media releases them. Why? Because again, it is important to support the Sailor Moon franchise in North America. As much as I might have my own sort of qualms with Viz Media and their sort of ignoring of Canada, only releasing Sailor Moon on websites and that sort of thing that you can only watch in the US, they do release the DVDs and the Blu-rays in Canada, so you can still buy them here. And like I said before, creating that demand is how we're going to keep being supplied it. So definitely make sure that you support the actual official franchise and you go out and you buy the DVDs and or the Blu-rays. The fourth thing I want to mention is the SH Figuarts. Now I'm just talking about the regular line of Figuarts, not the Zero, not any of that stuff, just the regular Figuarts. Why? Because I like their customizability. That's a word. I think I made up another word. At the high end of the spectrum, they've cost me $50 Canadian for just one. That was Pluto. She was the most expensive because I had to get her through a deputy service from Premium Bandai because couldn't get her anywhere else. So she was definitely the most expensive. But even still, $50 for a figure that is as posable, as customizable, comes with all the pairs of hands and all the items and a stand and all that sort of stuff is very, very well priced. The Figuarts are also all of very high quality. Like I have yet to have a Figuart that was kind of messed in any way, and they all make a cute little family on my shelf back there. It actually makes it hard for me when I see, because there's so many different lines of Sailor Moon figures, both from the 90s and now, and I look at all of them and I'm like, none of them are really worth it to me, because to buy a figure and you're like, oh, it's cute, and you take it out of the box and it's already put together and it's like, this is how she stands, this is it, and it's like, oh, this is pretty, I paid $200 for this thing, puts it on a shelf, that's it, I ain't done with this. Of course I said that's the person who owns a Bulip doll, but you know what I mean, like, especially when the Figuarts exist, something that is so posable and so customizable at such an inexpensive cost, I would definitely say that out of all of the Sailor Moon figures that are out, they are the ones that are worth the investment. They are the best. And if you have noticed, I have yet to mention anything that really had my third criteria, which is the really intense emotional pull. Well, that is what I've saved the number 5 spot for. I would definitely recommend, treat yourself. Invest in one Sailor Moon replica, at least one that has that really strong emotional pull. So for me, that would be my Moonlight Memories series Star Locket. Every time I look at my Star Locket, I'm a fan of the original dub and the original sub and the new dub. I have yet to see a version of the original anime that I really didn't like, but every time I look at my Star Locket, I just think of Terry Hawks and Toby Proctor being Serenity and Darien in the original dub, and it gives me those rose-colored glasses, and I'm so nostalgic. I'm like, oh, I just love it so much. And realistically, the Star Locket was actually not even that much money. It was $50, $60 some odd dollars when I bought it at the time, so not like I spent astronomical amounts of money on it. But I probably would have been willing to spend a little bit more because I just really wanted it. For you, maybe you're more interested in one of the transformation brooches or one of the wands or sort of thing. I've been looking for the Moonstick at a reasonable price for a long time, so no one hit me up. But maybe it's something more like that has that this is my favorite item, and I honestly 100% recommend going for it, especially if it's from the Proplica brand / series. The Proplicas are really, really high quality. They're very nice. I would 100% recommend getting them. I don't own any myself, but I've had the opportunity to play with and look at a lot of them, and I want all of them. But I would never actually buy all of them because, like I said, it's a lot of money for something that I don't really need. And yeah, those are the sort of 5 categories, top 5 Sailor Moon merchandise that I would recommend getting. Is there anything that I kind of left off the list that you would definitely 100% grab without even thinking twice, regardless of all of my criteria, let me know. I love talking about Sailor Moon merchandise with you, especially because you understand, because you're the same. Your room probably has as many Sailor Moon posters up as mine does. Maybe even more. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below, especially if you have a request for future videos. I love making videos that I know you want to see. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!